From the studios of KSBI Television in Oklahoma City, this is Oklahoma's College and University Academic Challenge. Teams from your favorite schools compete for school pride and for $200,000 in scholarships, made possible by the Chickasaw Nation. This is Mind Games with your host, Jennifer Reynolds.
Welcome to Mind Games on KSBI OK52. This is a battle of wits between Oklahoma college students, and tonight is our fall semester final. We started with 16 teams, and we have made it down to our final two now, so let's meet those teams now. From Redlands Community College in El Reno, we have Brandon Jefferson, Dustin Austin, and Aaron Reed. Good luck tonight. Glad to have you back. And from the University of Central Oklahoma in Edmond, the bronze team, we have Sarah McKenzie, Kane Watkins, and Dan Bashir. Again, welcome. Good luck to you tonight. We'll start our first round in just a moment, but right now here's Keely McIntyre to remind us exactly how we play the game.
All right, Jennifer, let's go over those rules. The first question on each topic is a toss-up. Either side can buzz in, and a correct answer is worth 20 points. Now, teams may earn more points by answering the question with only the advanced information you at home will see in blue. But if they interrupt at any point in the question and they're wrong, the opposing team receives 10 points and a chance to answer the question for the original 20 points. Each correct toss-up answer is rewarded with a bonus question on the same topic worth another 10 points. Both teams also try and answer one OERB energy question worth 10 points and an extra $250 in scholarship money. All right, let's play Mind Games.
Round one, time for that now. It's 12 questions or 7 minutes, whichever comes first, and that time begins at this moment. Here's your first question on the topic of humanities. It is a toss-up. Either side can answer. In this experiment, 24 males were selected, with half of them confined to rooms in the basement of a university psychology building. Aaron.
Stanford prison experiment.
Correct. It was shut down early due to the incidents of violence and abuse between the subjects. Identify this experiment, which studied the psychological effects of a prisoner or guard, of becoming a prisoner or guard. Now, if you guys will take a look at your screen here, this is a humanities bonus question, and it is one you'll need to take a look at. This Egyptian god was the protector of the dead and weighed the heart against a feather to determine the fate of the soul. Identify this god with the head of a jackal.
Anubis.
Anubis is correct. Redlands is on the board, and now here's our next toss-up question from the category of history. Originally codenamed Development of Substitute Materials. Brandon.
The Manhattan Project.
Tell me one.
Manhattan Project.
Correct. Sites at Argonne and Oak Ridge. Its personnel included Richard Feynman, John von Neumann, and Robert Oppenheimer. It was ultimately the project that developed the atomic bomb. Here's your history bonus question now. Unlike the one between Julius Caesar, Pompey, and Crassus, this arrangement was a formally recognized political alliance. What was this alliance that ruled Rome from 43 to 33 BCE and ended with Octavian defeating Marcus Lepidus and Mark Antony to become emperor?
The Second Triumvirate.
The Second Triumvirate is correct. Our next topic is science. This is a toss-up. Take a look at your screen. It is a visual toss-up. This compound is an important precursor to vitamin D, and its concentration in the blood can be lowered by statins. Dan.
Cholesterol.
Cholesterol is correct. Identify this lipid that can cause atherosclerosis and comes in HDL and LDL varieties. Here's a science bonus question for UCO. Take a look at your screen. When light of sufficient energy is shined on a metal, electrons are emitted. Important in the development of quantum theory, identify this effect, whose explanation won Albert Einstein the Nobel Prize.
The photoelectric effect.
That is correct. Here's our next category. Next toss-up question, either side can answer, and it is from the topic of literature. The protagonist of this novel organizes basketball games and a deep-sea fishing trip and is later forced to undergo electroshock therapy, including the characters Billy Bibbit and Nurse Ratched, and set in an insane asylum. Kane.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Correct, the Ken Kesey novel. Here's your literature bonus question. In his short story, The Minister's Black Veil, a reverend's fiancée leaves him because he will not take the title object. Identify this American writer whose short stories include Young Goodman Brown and Rappaccini's Daughter.
Nathaniel Hawthorne.
That is correct. Pop culture is our next category. Episodes of this television show have included an epic paintball game and a stop. Kane.
Community.
Community is correct. Featuring characters such as Troy and Abed, who are part of a school study group, identify the sitcom whose ensemble cast includes Joel McHale and Chevy Chase. Here's your pop culture bonus question. As of August 2011, this album has sold more than 1.5 million copies in the United States alone. The song Last Chance from this album features Natasha Bedingfield. Identify this #1 selling album, Nicki Minaj's studio debut.
Pink Friday.
That is correct. UCO's in the lead now. History is our next topic. Here we go. A former governor of Newfoundland, this man governed Maryland for 42 years. Following his father George's death, he received a charter from Charles I of England to begin the first Catholic colony in the mid-Atlantic. Identify this man after whom the largest city in Maryland is named. Dan.
Baltimore.
Lord Baltimore it is. History bonus is history bonus now for UCO. Founded by the descendants of an uncle of Muhammad, this caliphate's capital was Baghdad. Identify this third Islamic caliphate that overthrew the Umayyad Caliphate and rose to power in 750 AD.
The Abbasid Caliphate.
That is correct. Science is our next topic. According to a research article published in July 2011, the Zhaotianzhengi fossil species may be older than this related genus, with a name derived from a Greek phrase meaning ancient feather. Dan?
Archaeopteryx.
Archaeopteryx is correct. Describes a theropod dinosaur with wings. Here's your science bonus question. The drug artesunate is currently used for this disease, which historically was treated with quinine. What is this disease which is caused by protists in the genus Plasmodium?
Malaria.
Malaria is correct. Literature is our next category. She first found success as a writer with The Sea Around Us about oceanography and marine biology. More famous is a book about pesticides that led to the banning of DDT. Dan.
Carson.
Rachel Louise Carson, the author of Silent Spring. Literature bonus question for UCO. His short story, A Very Old Man with Enormous Wings, is an example of the magical realism style for which he is famous. Identify this Colombian author of Love in the Time of Cholera and 100 Years of Solitude.
Garcia Marquez.
Gabriel Garcia Marquez. All right, here's our next toss-up. It's a fine arts question, and you'll need to listen carefully. Heard here as part of Buckaroo Holiday from one of this man's ballets, which ends with a hoedown.
Copeland.
Copeland is correct. That is considered a blurt. Because I hadn't called your name first, we give one warning per show, and that is it. So it will be an incorrect answer. Any further blurts in this contest. All right, here we go. Yes, that was Aaron Copeland. Another of his ballets tells the story of the Old West. He's the composer of Rodeo, Billy the Kid, and Fanfare for the Common Man. Here's your fine arts bonus question. You'll need to take a look at the screen. Seen here is Watson and the Shark, a painting by this man. Identify the painter, also famous for portraits of American Revolution figures such as John Hancock and Paul Revere.
Defer.
To make up your mind?
Defer. Cosplay.
Incorrect. John Singleton Copley is what we were looking for there. Literature is our next topic. This poem describes the adventures of Franks, Charlemagne, and the title character as they battle the Saracens. Identify this Ludovico Ariosto work that raises the Frankish hero Roland to mythic proportions. Dustin?
Song of Roland.
Incorrect. UCO? I'm sorry, Dan.
Gawain and the Green Knight.
Orlando Furioso is what we were looking for there. All right, big lead for UCO, but these things sure can turn around. We've seen it happen, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with our OARB bonus questions as our fall semester championship game is underway here on Mind Games. Be right back. Welcome back to Mind Games on KSBI TV OK52 and you. It's time for our Oklahoma Energy Resources Board bonus questions. Each correct answer is worth 10 points and an extra $250 in scholarships. The team in the lead goes first, and that is UCO Bronze. So here we go, UCO. Electrical energy can be produced from A, chemical energy, B, radiant energy, C, mechanical energy, or D, all of the above.
D, all the above.
That is correct. All right, Redlands, here's your question. What percent of natural gas in the United States moves from the wellhead to the market entirely through pipeline? A, 25%, B, 45%, C, 50%, or D, 99%. Got to have an
D.
answer? D is correct. You got it. All right. You took a chance there and it worked. Let's talk to our teams a little bit here. Redlands, show us your bracelets here. They've had some bracelets made, and I'll have to. In fact, Aaron, you go ahead and tell me what they say and why it says that.
It says "Scio ergo vici," which is Latin for "I know, therefore I conquer."
All right. That's your motto.
That's our motto.
That's his motto.
What's your motto?
Do tomorrow what you shouldn't do today.
All right, and be sure and make sure we had an interesting moment there when you just yelled "buzz" at me, and I wasn't quite sure if you'd buzzed in, but you had, and you got in there in time. Brandon, what are you hearing on campus these days about the show? Anything fun?
Well, actually, I believe some of the faculty has prepared a surprise for us back at the campus. So,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah,
All
win or
right.
lose, we got some support.
That's great. That's great to know. I think there should be a bet between the Redlands president and the UCO president, and I think we should just make one up. I think the loser has to wash the other one's car. That's what I'm proposing. Now, Joseph Alawale subbed in for Sarah. And Joseph, you watched the show in class, I guess?
Yeah, the professors actually played the videos of me, and I was like, that's pretty cool. Called me a stub, but nothing big.
He's famous. He's the big man on campus now. Kane is excited because he didn't break out.
And not one competition to have any acne going on, so
red
I'm really
face.
relieved this went well.
Okay,
Yes.
excellent. And Dan's excited because his kids are here.
Yep. Oldest one's Helen, 9 years old, and the other one's Samantha, 5, and they're both out there and probably raising Ned. But
They are cute. And your wife is here also.
yes,
All right.
you wouldn't want them running roughshod over this TV station. Trust me.
We had to have someone to ride herd on him. Okay, well, good luck, everybody. We're about ready for round 2. We're going to take a quick break and be right back with more Mind Games on KSBI. Welcome back to Mind Games on KSBI. Tonight we're going to crown a fall semester champion. We have UCO Bronze and Redlands battling it out in this academic challenge. It's time now to start round 2. Again, it's 7 minutes or 12 questions, whichever comes first. That time starts right now. Here is your first question from the category of history. This dynasty came to power when Pope Zachary and Pope Stephen II removed the Merovingians. Descended from Charles Martel, identify this noble family which started when Pepin the Short was crowned the king of the Franks. Aaron.
Rose.
Incorrect. UCO. Dan.
Valois.
The Carolingian dynasty. Next question is our Stafford Air and Space Museum science question. Here it is. According to the state postulate, only 2 of this type of independent variable are needed to fully specify the entire state of a system. Examples of this type of property include concentration and temperature. Identify this kind of physical quantity whose value does not depend on the amount of substance. Dustin.
Colligative property.
Incorrect. The amount of substance measured. Dan.
Static.
Intensive property, what we're looking for there. Here's our humanities question now. This is a toss-up. Either side can answer. This man has taught at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology since 1955. While his criticisms of U.S. foreign policy and the war on drugs have garnered public attention, his academic work includes advances in psychology and linguistics. Identify. Dan.
Chomsky.
Noam Chomsky it is, the author of Syntactic Structures. Here's your humanities bonus question, UCO. Adherents of this religion believe in the transcendent deity Bondie and lesser beings called Loa, to whom prayers are directed. Identify this religion, which combines the beliefs of African, Roman Catholic, and Native Caribbean traditions.
Voodoo.
Voodoo it is. Literature is our next category. It is a toss-up question for either side. Here we go. While lamenting his fate, the titular character in this play proclaims, quote, "I am determined to prove a villain and hate the idle pleasure of these days," unquote. Identify this Shakespearean masterpiece in which the title monarch cries, quote, a horse, my kingdom." Dustin.
King Henry VIII.
Incorrect. A horse, my kingdom for a horse, shortly before being killed by Richmond. Dan?
Richard II.
So close. Richard III. Next question is from the topic of science, and it is a visual toss-up. Take a look at your screen. Seen here is the equation for the convergence of this type of infinite series where A is the scale factor and R is the common ratio. Identify this type of series that can be used to demonstrate that... Brandon?
Geometric series.
That is correct, that 0.9 repeating is equivalent to 1. All right, Redlands, here's your science bonus question. This geologic feature consists of a steep inlet carved by a glacial activity and is contrasted with a ria, which is formed by water erosion. Identify this feature that is prominent on Scandinavian coasts.
Moraines.
Fjords, what we're looking for. Current events is our next topic. Take a look at your screens. The man pictured here is the... Kane?
Silvio Berlusconi.
That's right, current owner of the AC Milan soccer team. He just stepped down as Prime Minister on November 12th, Prime Minister of Italy, Silvio Berlusconi. Here's your current events bonus question. Tiger Woods placed third, his highest showing in 2 years. John Daly walked out after hitting 7 balls into a water hazard. These events took place during what tournament played over the weekend that was won by Greg Chalmers?
Australian Open.
The Australian Open?
That's correct. Really? Might have just been taking a stab at it, Dan, but that was right. History is our next topic. This civilization developed the Quipu system of recording information.
The Inca.
Inca Empire is correct. War between brothers Atahualpa and Huascar weakened the civilization prior to Pizarro's invasion. The Empire of the Andes Mountains with its capital at Cusco, the Inca Empire. Here's your history bonus question. The 2 wars of this name were fought between Dutch settlers and the British Empire for strategic land in South Africa. Identify these wars in which the British led a campaign of total war, including concentration camps for the farmers.
The Boer Wars.
Boer Wars is correct. Fine arts is the next toss-up category. Begun in 1560 under patronage by Cosimo de' Medici, this building was flooded several times due to its proximity to the Arno River. Identify this gallery, the largest museum in Florence, Italy. Kane.
The Uffizi.
The Uffizi Gallery is correct. Fine arts bonus for UCO. This violinist supposedly would intentionally break his strings and finish a piece on the remaining ones to demonstrate his skill. Identify this Italian composer of 24 caprices for solo violin. Gonna make up your mind? Nothing? Niccolo Paganini. Here's our next question. It is a toss-up. The category is humanities. In the Catholic tradition, this 2-word theological tenet is not considered to be in conflict with the infallibility of the sacred tradition. In Lutheranism, however, it implies that singular spiritual authority lies with the Bible. Identify the Latin phrase that says the Bible is the only source of divine revelation. Nobody. Sola Scriptura. Ring a bell? Geography is our next topic, and this is a toss-up question for either side. This mountain range receives its name from mythological princess of Gaul, and the Battle of Roncesvalles Pass in the early Reconquista also took place here. Identify this range, which is home to Andorra and separates Iberia. Kane.
The Pyrenees.
The Pyrenees Mountains separates Iberia from the rest of Europe. History bonus question now for UCO. This area of Argentina is well suited for agriculture and was once a home to the gauchos. Identify this lowland of Argentina whose name comes from Quechua for plains.
The Pampas.
Pampas is correct. Here's the next toss-up question, and it is a visual toss-up, so if you would take a look at your screen. Seen here is the Feynman diagram depicting this process. It comes from the Latin word for nothing. Identify this process. Dan.
Annihilation.
Annihilation is correct, the process that occurs when a subatomic particle collides with its respective antiparticle. Science bonus question for UCO. In 1865, Auguste Kukela proposed the distinctive structure of this hydrocarbon. Identify this aromatic molecule with formula C6H6 that is used to derive toluene.
Benzene.
Benzene is correct. And that is the end of the round, the end of the game, and we now know who our fall semester champions are. Congratulations to the UCO Bronze team. Congratulations to our runners-up Redlands Community College. What a fun time this has been and what a great game. We're going to find out, we're going to give you the total on what these two teams have won for their schools It's a lot of money. And we'll also tell you what's coming up on Mind Games. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Again, congratulations to the University of Central Oklahoma and Edmonds Bronze team for being our fall semester champions. Let's take a look at what these two schools, UCO and Redlands, have taken home in scholarship money. Tonight, UCO takes home $5,250. Redlands takes home $3,250. You see the total there. For the year, however, UCO Bronze has earned its school $13,250. Redlands right behind with $11,250 for a total of $24,500. We've given away, all told, to all the schools that have participated so far this fall, $63,000. And you know that's what it's all about, providing scholarships for kids so they can continue their education. Now, coming up in 2 weeks, we have an exciting new Mind Games bracket. We're talking Bedlam. OU and OSU testing their knowledge and brain power against each other. That Bedlam series starts in 2 weeks at 8 o'clock right here on KSBI. We want to thank the folks at the Chickasaw Nation for their generous support of this academic challenge, and to OERB, to all the schools for their participation. I personally want to thank our officials, Tony Hayes and Gail Bliss, for being there to answer all my questions. Thanks to all of you for participating, and thanks to you for playing Mind Games.
Mind Games is a production of KSBI Television in Oklahoma City, made possible by the Chickasaw Nation.